Coming up, we're on the home stretch leading into the 2024 National Championships. A lot of athletes will be travelling away from home. How can athletes best prepare for a competition while on the road? Kaizen Culture is going to be there in Geelong also, so we'll share what we've got planned coming up and things you can expect from us at the venue. Nathan has also just returned from the New Zealand Open, and he'll be sharing his experience from across the Tasman. All of that follows after our talented friend, Good Fortune.
It's a keeper.
It is a good tune. I'm not sick of it yet. Welcome back to the Kaizen Culture Pod, where we are keeping the conversation moving within Australian karate. My name is Mitch and Jon, here as always with Nathan Blockley and Jon Stainer. We are free and available wherever you get your podcasts, whether it be on Spotify or Apple Podcasts. We are also watchable on YouTube. Please give the podcast a rating if you're enjoying the content. And as always, please let us know your feedback and opinions. Send us an email at kaizenculture.info@gmail.com or even sign up to our mailing list at kaizenculture.org.
We get a few of those when we do the reminder emails the week after a podcast releases. I think there's an option that you can leave your feedback.
Yeah.
And we get quite a few people filling those out, and it's really easy for us to have a read through. It's nice to see that feedback instead of just talking to a wall.
Yeah.
Or Mitchell.
It is
Same.
It is good,
Same.
doing this spiel, knowing that it actually has some return and some people are actually responding and letting us know that they are loving the content.
Yeah, because that's all we get is
all we
positive.
get, positive
People have
feedback.
been saying how good your intro's gotten, I reckon.
I hope so.
I haven't seen that come through yet.
We know it's come a long way.
But yeah, maybe next one, Mitchell.
Thanks. Okay. Well, the National Championships is coming up. It's the 50th year for the National Championships. So it's not the 50th year of the Australian Karate Federation, Karate Australia. It's the 50th Nationals. So pretty big one.
I think was the 40th my first? No, way earlier than that.
I don't know.
37th? Like
You would have been before
2011,
40.
2012?
We're old, man.
I
don't know.
I can't remember the 40th one. I can't remember if there was a big thing.
If this one's the 50th, I probably was at the 30th.
Yeah, you probably were.
You're old.
Yeah, and a little bit.
2004.
Yeah, I was 13, so it was exactly 20 years ago. So it would have been the 30th was my first one.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
They didn't do anything special.
No, I didn't get a medal, so...
Can't remember anything.
Yeah.
But yeah, I can't remember anything for the 40th. So I'm glad that the 50th is such a spectacle this year. Maybe that's a social media thing. The whole information is so much more accessible now. Maybe
It is big. They've been asking for photos and history, where have all the venues been.
We've been asking for history.
They collectively, the Royal
Yes,
Day.
okay, yeah.
We're still missing a few dates as well. We're missing the 70s and 80s, where the Nationals were in which cities. There's just no files. There's no archives. There's no documents that you can go through to maybe there are, but do you know where they are?
I don't have a memory for that as well. If you were like, hey John, where were your first 5 Nationals? I remember the first one was Queensland, and then
the first one, yeah.
After that, could have.
And the
coin toss.
internet wasn't around then, and cell
It
phones
wasn't?
hadn't been. No, I think that was. No, internet wasn't.
Yeah.
Yeah, in the bloody 70s.
But yeah, it's going to be a massive championships, and it's in arguably the home of karate in Victoria. That's where.
Let's not start this argument.
I think it is. The first Nationals was in, I think, Sydney. But you comfortably say that the home of karate is in Melbourne, just because the sheer numbers and how successful they've been over the years. It's just where everything is.
I'd like to give it to the numbers instead of the venue because, we have Oz Open every year in Sydney.
Yeah, I reckon New South Wales has a good shout because of that.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, but I want to give it to the numbers.
I think there'll be some people giving you some side eyes at the Nationals.
Well, arguably, I'm going to say WA is the home of karate because it's, it is.
We all know
it's
that's
where
a
the
stretch.
best athletes
The
are from. Is that what
the
you're
passion
saying?
and the heart lives.
WA, we are the best.
But yeah, let us know where you think the home of karate is because it'd be a good place to. But they held because of the COVID break for 2 years, and it just worked out that they've got it for Melbourne. The last time they had a Nationals was 2016, but that wasn't
Oh, that
The
wasn't
worst one,
that was Oz Open, was it?
Oz Open Melbourne.
Okay.
They haven't had it since that really bad.
Room to improve on.
And for those who weren't there, I remember fighting at like I think 11:30, and there were people after me. Sorry, that's 11:30 at night.
Yeah.
11:30
I
at
was
night.
there
We were
for that
still
one,
at the
maybe.
venue, still events going on. I don't know.
Some people thought that was a spectacle.
No, I didn't. I was tired. I was a kid. I was tired.
I'm with you.
Yeah, no, it was a bit of a shambles. I can't remember what fully. I think they
put finals separately. So they were like, okay, we're going to do all the eliminations. And then they said, we're going to do finals at a separate event, like a separate time. Did they do a different day? I can't remember. But yeah, it was,
something in the scheduling they just didn't account for. And fair enough, like you can't foresee everything. And it was a fine tournament. You know, it sucks being there that late, but everybody competed. Everybody was in the same boat. I think that's a huge one. It's not like half the competitors in the division got a good start time. So, I think they do have a lot of pressure on their shoulders to provide, and I think there's a great team in Karate Victoria that is pushing that. So, I'm very excited for this nationals.
Awesome. Well, we've got a few things that we want to talk about in just traveling to the nationals, because there's the most of the athletes are from Victoria, but there are athletes around the country that are going to be traveling. So from Western Australia, taking that big flight over to the East Coast, and then from Tassie and from Queensland. So traveling is a big part of our sport, whether it's domestically or internationally. So probably a good time to sort of go through tips and tricks and problems you can possibly run into when you're traveling for a competition.
Problems? I've got one.
Yeah.
People who catch red eyes. Parents are.
That's you.
So no. When I was a competitor, I'd never copped a red eye flight when I was competing. But yeah, now I'm doing Kaizen Culture. I'm doing
the
red
whole
eyes.
WA state team used to do it for a few years. We'd all do red eyes, and I have like haunted memories of rocking up in Melbourne at 7 a.m. and just
being wrecked.
Struggle. But you have to, if you're doing that or you're coming at a really odd hour, I think you just have to like commit to not napping and adjust. I can't sleep on planes. So you've had no sleep, but if you sleep and then whack your schedule out, it's way worse than if you just like stay up till 8, 9, eat the meals at the right time. But the red eye ones are nasty.
And it's a huge parent thing. And I understand parents have full-time jobs. They need to go to work. Every day that they have off is a hassle to get. So that's the situation I've faced a lot more, is parents just don't want to take that extra day off. So they catch the red eye, and then
and they're a bit cheaper usually.
Yeah, they're a bit cheaper as well. But it's shocking to the athlete, because they end up going, and a lot of these are kids going on Friday morning, Friday afternoon. So we've had people who have arrived Friday morning and competed on Friday.
That's tough. If you're coming from like WA.
Yeah, it's just not worth it. Just parents, please just get that extra day. Give your child the best chance they possibly can at the tournament. You want them well rested, feeling the best that they possibly can for that event, because it is maybe the biggest event that they'll have this year.
Yeah, I mean, ideally, you kind of want to arrive on a Wednesday.
That's what, we've always done that.
Have Thursday off, or to like get a training session in and just relax. Friday comp.
Like a competition, Friday, Saturday, Sunday is just like unbelievably massive. Like it's draining, it's a lot, it's high energy. So you're smashed, even if you're not competing on the Friday. Like for us, the seniors and stuff that don't compete on the Friday, we still feel the effects of being around in the team, talking to people. Like your energy levels just get zapped, and so you've got to mentally prepare for that a couple of days in the lead up. So if you fly in on the Wednesday and you have Thursday just to reset or be with the team, and that's another thing as well, being with the state team on the Thursday, doing all of the training sessions and hanging out. And some of the best memories was just like doing stuff outside of the venue with the state team, running around the hotel.
And Thursday's
being
kind
sensible. of
the day for that, right? When you're busy Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
Being sensible.
Being sensible.
We never...
Until Sunday. Sensible leaves. But it's a balance with that, I think, like on the Thursday. So like there's that temptation to go sightsee if it's a new city, and there might be good to spend a little bit of time, but you also don't want to walk 30,000 steps and be exhausted by the time Friday comes. I don't know if you guys, I always used to like to go watch a movie. So you head out
Man, the movies were the best.
The
Yeah, we're
movies,
big on
with the
movies.
squad, and it makes you sit for 3 hours,
Yeah.
which you are grateful for when you're competing the next day.
Yeah, and it makes the day go pretty fast as well, because 2 to 3 hours out of your day, plus the training session, plus the weigh-in and then eating after, like that's a full day.
Yeah.
You know, your nerves aren't really, you're not confronting them yet because it's not competition day. You're still in movie mode.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think it is good to discuss what not to do. And I've got another one. Don't train the week of the comp, like 100%. You know, when we're talking about these training sessions on the Thursday, they're short, they're sharp, you start training, and when you feel good, you stop training. There is no, I need to push through this, I'm gassed or whatever. Like, as soon as you feel good, you stop. Because that means you're ready for the next day. But there were people like the Mondays of fly out week, of comp week, that they'd be doing 100% training sessions and full on fights with people. And it's like, why? You've done all the work. You've been training for the last 6 months plus for this championships. The hard work's done. You don't need to put in any more the week of.
Yeah,
it's only
especially
going to
if
be
it's
detrimental.
Trying to do a 2-hour session or something, I'd be tapering that right down. I think from the kata, you might want to do like 100% kata, but you don't need to go. For me personally, I never felt the need to go through all 5. You know, you just like do 1 or 2, hit the point you feel good, like Nathan said, and that's the perfect time to stop. And hopefully you resume that in your event. That's the last place you left off, and that's where you're going to start.
Yeah.
And for kata, I only did sections as well, like the week of. I did sections with big breaks. So I do like, I'm talking like like a quarter of the kata, feel 100% really good, and then I'd stop. And then I'd do another segment, and then a couple of them, and then that's training session done. As soon as I feel sharp, fast, I'm good.
Yeah. Yeah, there is like a tendency to try and like, you know, if you're trying to like push yourself that week of, you're like, oh, last week I was focusing on this and I want to make sure it's right and I want to, you know, do this and do that. And so you go, I want to go a little bit more and just make sure it's done. But then you make mistakes and then you could have the potential to injure yourself, and you just got to stick to the basics for that week leading into the championships. You know, it's just like feeling good mentally outweighs trying to fix something you were trying to fix last week.
Yeah, it's too late. You're not going to fix it. I think that training session, if the states do it, is really important beforehand, but it can go really wrong.
Have you experienced that when like
I've experienced ones where it's just like you've been slogged. I've been experienced ones where it's kind of like no one got anything done and there was no space, and it's kind of in between. It's really hard if you're catering with these big teams with like 8-9-year-olds, elite athletes, you know, or a bit more on the serious end. Like, how do you balance all of that? And sometimes there's a really great amount of team building, and sometimes there's none, and sometimes there's too much. Like, I think you can just do too much team building at the same time rather than making sure everyone's feeling sharp and ready individually and then collectively do something. Definitely with the ones where they slog you feel the worst.
And then sometimes the venue, the place where you have the training sessions. Like I remember we did outdoor tennis court once.
Yeah, we've
once,
done
twice,
a couple times.
We've trained in like the pool area of a hotel once.
Yeah,
it was like a I think it was nationals in like Queensland. I can't remember, or it could have been an international one. But we trained in like the pool area, and you're like training on tiles, and you're like, this cannot be safe.
The indoor breakfast buffet, you push all the tables aside and just like, this carpet is really similar to the tatami. Some of the best ones I reckon are like, it's a secret tip, but squash courts.
Squash courts.
They're usually available during the day. It's not a tatami mat, but if you can get a dojo or like a little practice at the venue, sure. But if you can't,
you
just book a few squash courts.
A lot of the time we actually trained on floorboards as well. I mean, I don't know if it was always the case for everybody who didn't train on mats, but like I feel like that's been a later development in karate, that people actually train 100% of their time on mats.
Yeah. Who'd have thought to train on the surface you compete on?
Yeah,
I think
maybe I was doing floorboards at Craigie, and then
carpet.
It seems there's way more full-time dedicated dojos and spaces to make that easier now. No more laying out mats.
Oh man, there's still some laying out mats to be done every state team training session. Let me tell you. So some people need to pick up their game, by the way, on that.
People don't know how to.
I'm serious. First of all,
I'm here for the call out.
How do you not know how to lay mats? It's a simple system. You lay the rows down, You lay them all the correct angle, right? So that the arrow or whatever the thing is pointing the right way. You lay the rows in the colors that you want. You lay another row, you lay another row, and then you join the rows together.
As a team.
As a team, you slide it together, boom, done. I'm sick of everyone trying to do section over here, and then wonder why in the middle it's doing this.
Laying the mat should be the team building exercise.
Yes.
Work together.
There are things, Troy said it at state trainings, there are 2 things you need to be a requirement to join the state team. You need to know how to learn to lay mats, and you need to know how to tie your belt.
Troy has laid his mats and mats in his time. He knows what he's doing.
Yeah. Anyway, that's enough whinging about that. I think we've hit all the things that we want to talk about. Maybe like food preparation. Like I've only just really started focusing on I didn't focus on my food preparation and weight cutting until I was a senior, because I just always thought, this is my weight, this is where I fight. I'm not going to try and cut weight, which is probably a bad decision for me anyway. And I think that
there's pros and cons.
Yeah, going forward, I think if you're a junior going to under 21s, you should really start thinking about where you are at your weight category and going, can I go down? Do I need to go up maybe? But really tailoring your weight to what your physical attributes are, and then looking after the food, because plain food, hotel food, going out to Hungry Jack's every night is not good.
Yeah, and plain food is like meant to be really salty, right? So you stock on all that water weight, and if you're in the middle trying to lose weight, that's the worst food you could be trying to do. Hopefully not too many people are trying to drop 8 kilos in the week of nationals. And
Rory Attridge.
I have memories of Patrick Saleh sweating it out.
Oh yeah,
in the sauna, hoodie, oval. I think he dropped 8+ kilos and still won the nationals, looking like a zombie in the final.
That not just with his fighting style, but actually looked like a zombie. But no, it's like, I think science has not changed, but like there's a lot more research now about how to weight cut properly, the most efficient way to do it. Hopefully, no one's dropping that much weight. But if you need to drop 1 or 2 kilos, like that's it. It's about controlling your salt, controlling your water, and obviously not eating too many carbohydrates.
Yeah, I've always been a big fan of like trying to encourage to eat healthy, but then there's also that conundrum of not changing your diet just because you're at a tournament. It's like, so if you live off pies, maybe like if you change it to something else, is that beneficial? I don't know.
Yeah,
like if you just say a normal like child doing kata, right?
But if you do have a balanced diet, maybe err on the healthier side.
Absolutely, yeah.
Because I think that's underappreciated, is the 1%ers for your comp day and your performance. It's what we talked about before about being fully ready, being awake, being ready for your event because of your sleep and whatnot. Same thing with diet, just putting yourself in the best possible position for it.
Yeah. For me, the big one is like on the day, like the meal timing. I think a lot of people don't know enough about like, if you're on at 9 o'clock, do not eat a full breakfast at 8, and then you've got bacon, hash browns and everything. Like you need to be eating that. I think the recommendation is 3 to 4 hours beforehand. And then if you're trying to eat an hour beforehand, you need to look at foods that are fast energy, but very quick to digest, like bananas, yogurt, jelly beans.
Oh, I love the sugar hits.
Jelly beans. I'm more about the dinosaur all naturals these days.
Oh yeah, the jubes, like the what are they called? The Berry Bliss. Oh, I love Berry Bliss.
Good.
Yeah, I when I was younger, obviously we're competing in the morning first thing, and so I never used to eat breakfast, and so we'd go down and maybe have like a little juice or something like that, and then as I got older and my divisions got pushed later, I didn't compete so early, and I was competing like, I don't know, midday or 1 o'clock, but in my head I was like, oh, I don't eat breakfast, so that's just my thing. So I stuck with that, and then I noticed as time went on, I was like tired and I didn't have enough energy. But because of my brain, I was like, oh, I never used to eat breakfast, so why would I do that now? So then it started to have to change. Like, don't be afraid to change your routine as your competition goes on. I think that's what I'm trying to say at this point here. Like, if you feel like try not to get too superstitious with your routine, and have some flexibility and go, all right, what's actually best for my performance right now?
Yeah.
If it goes against what I've been doing, that's okay. It's going to benefit me for my performance, and then you're going to have energy and all that sort of stuff,
And you can trial these a little bit with your local comps as well. It's a good opportunity to trial a different routine and whatnot, because you should you should, 90% of athletes will have the same routine for any comp. It doesn't matter what level is the comp. Some people, they'll decide to do different and it works for them, good on them. But for most people, it's good to have the same routine. So you go onto that mat feeling the same, whether it's a national comp or a local comp or whatever comp you're at.
Absolutely. And I love the consistency from that just means that you can settle your mind, your body's ready, you know what's happening. And then long term, like Mitch was saying, I think even have a competition diary and be like, I ate this at this time, competed at this time. Sometimes you look back and go, man, that was a shit comp and I did this, and sorry kids.
No, it's all right.
That's right. I said bloody before and I was is that?
But you don't know that if you miss the opportunity, right? To really pull that out.
Yeah.
Yeah. Last one I want to touch on, just because I've been pretty passionate about it recently, is a consistent wake time. So like with a tournament, you have to get up earlier, especially if you're in a team. You might be used to competing at like 3 o'clock in the afternoon, but guess what? You're with the state team now. You have to be up at like 5:30 to 6, and you have to be on the bus at 7 o'clock. So make sure that's not the first day of your life that you've woken up. I'm talking to teenagers specifically.
I thought you were looking at Mitch.
I was like, I get up.
But just and that ties in with the whole red eye stuff that I was talking about before. Is try to when you know you're going to have to wake up early, so make sure you do it a couple of days in a row beforehand, so it's not such a new thing and you feel tired, and like that if you get up, even if it's early, if you get up, you're going to be fully awake by this time and you're going to be ready to perform.
Cool. I think we'll just take a little short break and we'll go into how we're going to be presented in. Oh my gosh, I can't talk.
Time for a break.
Yeah, it's clearly time for a break.
Talking for that long.
But we will go into Kaizen Culture at the Nationals. We will be there, all that sort of stuff, and the New Zealand Open after this.
Exciting.
All right.
Great.
All right, we're back, and John's just getting real hot, so he's taking his jacket off.
Just the excitement from the Nationals chat.
Are you excited?
I am excited. I'm not going, so there's always that but I've got a few students that have prepped for it, and that's always really exciting. Looking forward to, fingers crossed, hearing they've had a good time.
That's so nice now. You're transitioning into coaching athletes to compete at nationals. I think that's so exciting. Like, well, not now, but you've been doing it for the last few years now. But you've got a good, solid team.
It's especially nice when you've got people you saw as white belts 5 or 6, and now they're representing their state. I think you can take that for granted, but seeing someone else go through that, that's quite a journey.
That's so cool, and I hope it goes well for your kids. That's
how many have you got going?
4.
4, solid.
Cool. So Kaizen Culture at Nationals. Similar vibes to Oz Open, or is it going to be different, Nathan? What do we got? What do we got planned here?
It's going to be similar but different.
You
to sit on the fence.
Are you a politician or something?
No, I've actually we've had people reaching out on like Instagram saying, "Oh, you guys doing the Kaizen Culture packages again?" I'm like, "Yeah, we're here to stay. Like you don't need to ask; it's going to happen." But I suppose it's good that people do ask, and I think that's people who weren't like fully aware of what we were doing for the last 2 national competitions. They really want to jump on board this one, and they just make sure they don't want to miss the boat, because people will miss the boat this one, I feel. We're doing the same sort of straight. So, I'll split it up into what we're actually doing. I'll talk about the photography and videography first. We're going to do the same sort of release in terms of release to our email list first. I feel like there's a half decent chance we sell out on that email list because it's grown.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're not subscribed,
yes. If you're not subscribed and you're interested in having photography and videography done at the Nationals to capture your whole event, the 50th Nationals, if you care about that, which you should, then jump onto the email list, because that's where the release will happen. And we'll say this on social media that we'll be releasing on our email list, and these are the dates, but only the offers will be released on the email list. But anyways, so we'll be doing that as well. We'll be working with maybe an extended team from Oz Open. So it was Car, Unhud, and myself doing the photography and videography, and we might have a couple more people coming on, which is quite exciting.
Yep.
We're finalising that right now. But we're doing that side of things. And then, of course, we're going to have a stall. We're going to have a presence. We'll have the Kaizen Culture banner up, not waving I was thinking a flag. But
Oh, okay. Like we need to get one of those car salesmen.
Yeah, it won't.
no.
Yeah, it won't be waving
Things.
proudly, but it will be sitting and hanging very proudly.
Yeah, in your face though.
Yeah.
That's for sure.
Yeah.
No, we'll be there, and obviously I'm competing and stuff like that. Nathan's going to be doing the photography, but like we'll be around. So if you have any questions, like definitely ask us about what we're about and how you can jump on board and all that sort of stuff. And the photography team is also really, really cool to talk to. So, if you want to know about what we're trying to do, just come up and ask,
Yeah, and it will be a passive stall, just like it was at Australian Open. At Australian Open, we had sections throughout the day that we manned the stall and we interacted with the community. This time, it's just going to be purely passive, except for one very special event that we're going to host at the stall. And should we spoil it, or just keep? No, we'll keep it under wraps. But we'll advertise on social media. I'm sure Karate Australia will jump on board in advertising as well, and Karate Victoria. So you'll definitely know about it. But otherwise, it's just going to be a passive stall. And come up, we might be selling a few things as well. So
who knows?
nice.
The other cool thing that we've been doing is with Karate Victoria, we're doing another one of our booklets. So because it's the 50-year anniversary for the Nationals, it'd be quite nice to have a little booklet sent out to all of the people, everyone at the Nationals. Yeah, so
athletes, referees, volunteers. Yeah. We've accounted for all of them. We've got the numbers of who are attending, and we've ordered over that, so there'll be plenty to go around. But yeah, it'll be the same style one as we did at last year's Nationals, which I feel like everybody was really on board with, or remember, which surprised us a lot because it's not something we even pushed. We should have pushed it, but we didn't push it. But like kids were running around getting signatures from people.
So good.
Yeah. And that wasn't something we considered at all. So it will be something around the same style.
A little bit different as well. We want to we're going to do an article based off of the history of karate within Australia. So just how the federation grew to what it is now, like little milestones, all that sort of stuff. We've actually got someone helping us out doing that article, and she loves to do research articles and papers, stuff like that. So the one thing that we are struggling though with is the information. Like we said, it's very hard to find the archives for how things went, where things were, what happened. So if you do know anything about Karate Australia and the history, please send us all of the information that you've got so we can give to our writer so we can get that really, really finalised and done in the best way possible, because we don't want to get anything wrong. That's the thing.
We've actually got a local historian, a bit of a historian of Karate Australia. So he's given us how many boxes of archive
like 2 or
stuff?
3 boxes.
2 or 3 big archive boxes of stuff that we have to go through. So yeah, there's a lot of information out there, but we always need more. And similarly, we found somebody to help write the article. If you are interested in journalism though, and you want to help with editing or anything like that, reach out to us as well. Because I feel like this is a huge part of the booklet. It's the purpose of the booklet is highlighting the history of Australian karate, because that's what the 50th National should be about. And it's the whole, standing on giants sort of metaphor, like we're standing on all those who came before us. Karate Australia wasn't what it is now 20 years ago, 30 years ago, 40 years ago. 50 years ago.
There's no better time to get it all together, right? And then the fact that it's so hard to find means that this will be a good standing point for people to have that. And hopefully with social media, we won't be losing 2024 and 2025 in 50 years' time.
Yeah. So that's pretty much all the things that we're going to be doing at the Nationals. Or do you want to mention the stand?
The stand?
The photo stand?
Photo stand. Oh yeah, so that's the part that we might be selling photos as well. But yeah, that'll be on the day sort of thing.
All right.
There's no booking required for that. So
you stay secretive.
Yeah, you keep it very secret. I like it. So yeah, make sure you come up and see what we have on offer for that table, because it's going to be super exciting, and we're super stoked.
It's not going to be very secret at the event. It's going to be really in your face.
No, so
us in your face. I don't know.
Nathan, you've been traveling a little bit.
A little bit, yeah. I mean, I enjoy it.
Yeah.
So, yeah, had the opportunity to go over to New Zealand for the New Zealand Open. We had a contact over there, Rebecca Dobson. She was really kind to support Kaizen Culture coming over to the tournament, capturing a lot of her athletes. And we did the same Kaizen Culture photography and videography packages over there as well. It was a short supply that we sold because I'm only one man, guys. And it wasn't a team that went over. It was just myself. But yeah, it was a successful tournament for us. I feel like we learned a lot, and we're going to bring it into every tournament we do during the future. But yeah, there were quite a few Australians that crossed the Tasman as well. Yeah,
That's
there were
cool.
13 of them, which was 13 entries or 13 athletes. There were quite a few. I think there were 3 clubs.
Okay.
It was BBMA. I've actually got it here. I think this is important.
Well, while you're looking at that, it's quite. Oh, you've got it there?
Yeah, I've got it.
Oh, sorry. I was trying to buffer. I was just trying to,
Did you have a question for
John?
John?
Well, John was saying that, like, having Aussies over there, or is this a competition that we should be looking at sending athletes to? Like, if you're Melbourne, Sydney, or Queensland, do you think it's worth it just to pop over and do the New Zealand Open, like how New Zealand comes to the Australian Open?
Yeah, I mean, like, it's a chance for an international in that sense, and it's the closest one we'd get. Like, what was your experience?
Yeah, I think it's a lot smaller comp than the Australian Open. It's a national open, so it's the same level as the Australian Open for them. Mm-hmm. However, the numbers are a lot less. But there are very specific divisions that you should definitely be going there, especially like the junior male kumite. Though they've got some of the best fighters in Oceania over there, and like Ethan Hagen, for example, he's from Queensland, and he went over and he got a lot of really good experience over there. You could argue the refs did him a little bit dirty in a couple of the fights. So I was seeing some really nice anticipations, but maybe there was a bit of home crowd advantage. I'm not sure. But yeah, but he still got a very good number of fights. He got a third in the senior open, and there were quite a few in that division.
Senior, is it?
Senior. No, it must have been the junior open.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it must have been junior open.
Right. But also, like the senior female division's pretty deep as well. Do you know?
Yeah, there was Isha couldn't make it because she was unwell.
Right.
So there was Nicole
Isha?
And Isha. Yeah, Isha Van something.
Okay.
She actually bought a package, which reminds me we actually need a refund her.
Oh, okay. Okay.
But yeah, she bought a package, but she couldn't attend the event, which was unfortunate. She fell sick. So but I think there's 3 sort of pillars of female kata over there.
The kata, yeah, right?
Yeah,
pretty good.
Yeah. So I mean, I feel like kata, you can go to the most local comp and still get a lot of really good experience out of it because it's a lot more individual. It's a lot less based on who you're versing. It's a lot more, you're getting mat time, you're getting mat experience. Of course, the whole, like if there's a great aura around the event and there's a lot of pressure on you, then that builds character for bigger competitions. But I feel like if you're a fighter and you go to a local comp and there is just not your quality at the event, then it's a bit of a waste of time for you and resources. But I think the New Zealand Open, especially, like you can have a look if other Australians are going as well. If there's a good contingency over, it's definitely worth. And for those eastern states guys, I think it's like under $500 for flights. And it's a great place to stay. I've not been to Auckland, which I think it is most years. It was in Christchurch this year and last year. Christchurch is beautiful. Accommodation's pretty reasonable. I got fantastic accommodation. I was really happy with it. So I think it's definitely. And I was speaking to the families who did make the trip over there, and it was very obvious that it was a big family trip, and it was like memories that they're gonna hold with them forever about going to New Zealand, exploring a new place. And I think they were staying on a little bit afterwards as well, especially this time, skiing, snowboarding, it's definitely an option.
Great.
Yeah.
Don't get injured before nationals.
Yes, yeah, that's
one month out from nationals seems like an alright time to do a comp.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
I would think so.
100%. And especially for like children and cadets, I think it's any tournament you go to that's outside of Australia is going to be good. Like for you.
It might give you that first taste or another taste of like traveling for a comp. Because the local comps are great, but you're not. Obviously, Victoria's not traveling this year, but if you're from another state, that it's always different when you're traveling, like we were talking about before. And so really having to fly to New Zealand and go through all that is a good little reminder of your routine and what you need to change.
They're going to be used to the cold weather in Geelong.
Yeah.
Because how cold was it in New Zealand?
It was like -2 during the day.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
That reminds me of that
It was
Hobart
pretty cold.
Nationals.
I do not like Nationals in Tasmania. I love the place. I think it's
I love
beautiful.
Nationals in Tasmania.
Yeah, maybe it's just because every year I've competed there, I've always fought like absolute garbage.
It's not all about you,
And
mate.
it's freezing. So, well, yes, it is. Absolutely. Anyway, keep going. Do you have anything more to add about New Zealand?
No, just more the point that like Australian Open, you definitely feel New Zealand's presence there in the divisions, and it makes the tournament a better quality. So if Australia are reciprocating that support to their national Open, then that's a really good thing for the future of Oceania. You know, so if you've got the funds, if you've got the time off, and you can make that trip, I'd 10 out of 10 recommend.
Awesome. Yeah, and it's cool to like see that Kaizen Culture isn't just about Australia. You know, it's supporting our Oceania family. You know, and I think it's really cool that we were invited to go over there and support that tournament. So hopefully we can keep that relationship going, and because we just want to bring up not only Australia but Oceania. So yeah.
And I will actually I'll mention the results as well that we had from Australia. So we had Ruby Elwood got 3rd in caster. So well done to her. We had Ethan O'Hagan got 3rd in the Junior Open Kumite. Jamila Watt got 2 golds, which is fantastic. I don't know if she did Carter, but she had 2 golds in both fightings. So it was fantastic. I think this is actually, this is both tournaments because there was 2 tournaments. That's the other thing actually. There were some kids having like 4 divisions throughout the weekend because it was is that New Zealand secondary schools? Yeah, it might be limited to New Zealand. Maybe Australia couldn't compete in those.
Was it kind of like how Australian Open did the schools tournament and then the Australian Open?
Yeah, and I don't know.
You have to be from the.
Yeah, I don't know if the New Zealand, the Kiwis can do the R schools tournament during the Australia. I'm not 100% sure on that, but
it's a bit of a shame.
Yeah, so maybe just not mention that one. And then Jamila Watt and Chanelli, I believe.
Probably Chanel.
Chanel.
That's my guess.
Pulling that out of nowhere.
It's my handwriting that's just got awful, apparently.
Where's your buffer now, Mitch?
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. We need intermission playlist, like
elevator music.
Like technical.
Chanelli. So Chanelli and Jamila got 2nd in the team.
Right.
I think children's team
well.
Kumite. Yeah.
Team event Kumite.
Yeah.
That's
awesome.
Now
we need to bring that back for Australian Open. Come on.
Yeah, 100%. I'm surprised we don't have it, especially with maybe because we had Oceania.
It was a pretty stacked event that weekend.
Maybe there's an argument to have it now, right? With all the team Kumite.
Well, yeah.
The change of that.
That's
bring it back,
reserved for another podcast episode, I reckon. Any more results from New Zealand?
No, those were the results.
Cool. Congratulations, guys, because that's good on you for going over there and making the trip and branching out outside of your local, karate leagues from your state. And yeah, hopefully that's a good lead in for the Nationals, like you said. And, we're going to release another episode just before Nationals. We'll be talking about more detail about how we're going to be there. Couple of extra things, maybe highlighting some of the last year's champions. Who knows? We'll plan that.
We don't know.
We don't know.
But we will.
But be excited for it.
Definitely be
Listen to it on the plane.
Yeah, that's
on the way over.
Yeah, hopefully.
If it's released.
Yeah, it will be released.
If not in your hotel room.
Just definitely listen to it though.
Yeah.
Is it the week before Nationals, is it?
The
Wednesday,
week off.
And then everyone's competing Friday.
So it is a couple of days before. Yeah, right. So we might do the same Monday release then, eh?
Yeah, we probably should.
That'd be great if some people are listening to it just around on the trip.
Yeah,
downtime in the stands.
We'll do like everyone listen to it live in the stadium. We'll put it
Put
on a big PA system.
Share with us on socials.
Yeah. Happy to wrap it up there, lads.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah, good content. I'm really excited for the upcoming. I mean, we've got a lot coming for the rest of the year, but Nationals is next, so really excited for that.
Yeah,
the big one.
I'm very excited. All right. As always, please let us know your feedback and ask questions. After all, we're an organisation for you guys. Send us an email at kaizenculture.info@gmail.com or even just send us a message on Instagram. Sign up to the mailing list to be the first to hear about anything new coming up, especially the photography and videography packages, because that's how you can get your spots booked. Oh no, thank you so much. I'm butchering this outro once again. Thanks, lads. I'll see you in the next one.
Thanks, Mitch.